This is the third video in a series of training videos for coordinators of the Master Food Volunteer Program in Kansas. In this video we're going to cover the Users section and the Volunteer Acts section. Now the Users section lists all the users which have been enrolled in your county or counties. So in this case our coordinator Ricky Ricardo, who manages Anderson and Allen counties, he has 8 users that are enrolled in the system, 3 of which are coordinators, I believe, and the rest are Master Food Volunteers. In the users report gives you the ability to access and edit profiles of your users should you need to do that. Now the system's set up and designed so that users can access their own profiles and edit them themselves if necessary. But should you need to get into a user's profile, this is how you would do it. You would find the user on the report here, and you can use a filter to narrow down the results. For example, you just wanted to find Lucy Ricardo. You could type in her first name and filter by that means, or if need be you could also use the last name, or you could use a username or an email to filter down to a particular user. Once you've found the user, all you need to do is click the pencil icon to bring up that person's profile for editing. You can change their status, their reporting county, their authorization level, etc. Once you're done, you would just click the update button, which would take you back to the report. Let's click the reset filter button to go back to our full list. If you needed to modify more records than one, then just go ahead and click them over on this side and then click the pencil icon at the bottom, and that will bring up all the records that you need to modify. I'm going to cancel to get out. And so basically that's the users report. Now over here we also have an add users link, which will bring up a form for you to add a user. In the case of someone who, say, doesn't have access to a computer often or is not very computer savvy, but you want to get them into the system, then this is probably the form you'll need to use. Now let's go to the Acts section. The Volunteer Acts section is where all of the Acts reports or hours reports are going to be stored. Let's click on the link and see what the report looks like. As you can see, it just gives a list of the various Master Food Volunteers that are in the program in your counties, and lists out their reports one at a time. This is not a summary, but actually a listing of all of the records that have been input into the database. Over a period of time, this could get into the tens of thousands very easily. And so you'll want to be able to use your filters to filter down to a specific report or a specific Master Food Volunteer in your county. For example, let's go ahead and look at all of the reports put in by Walter White. As you can see, he's got quite a few of them, 9. If we needed to access any one of these, we would do it just like the other report lists in the site. We would either click on the checkbox on this side and click the edit icon at the bottom, or we would just click an icon over on the right to bring up that particular record. Then we would make the changes we would need and then click update, and that's all there is to it. We have the filtering capabilities are by year or date. Actually, we can narrow down to a specific day or month or year. For example, if we wanted to just look at April of 2012, we would put in 04//2012 and then click the filter button. That would give us all the reports for April of 2012. We could also filter by county and by particular activity. We could filter by the type, whether volunteer or training. We could filter by the number of hours even, or the age group, the number of contacts, or the location. We could even use, say, a word in the description. Let's remove the date here so we get more results. Well, we're just still getting one. In this case I used hot, which brings up the word hotline. But basically just any part of a word will bring up that description. So you can see you've got a number of different ways to filter down to look at a specific report. You also have the option to delete a report if you need to by clicking the delete icon, and it will just ask you if you're sure. We're not going to delete that though. Now, under both the Users section and the Acts section are Add Users and Add Acts forms. This is where you would select the username and set up a date and so forth and fill out a report for your Master Food Volunteer. Hopefully you won't have to do this, but should you need to, this is how you would do it. And as we said earlier, if you needed to add a user, you would just use the Add Users form, Insert Users. Well, I hope that I've covered these two areas thoroughly enough for you to get a handle on it and figure it out. If you have any questions, always use the tech support button. Thank you very much for watching.